Show, episode number 568. My name is John Morgan, and Cold Coffee is with me on a non-UFC week. We just got the UFC back. We had like a month and a half off. Everybody's itching. We're fiending a little bit. We're like, I need my fight fix. We get a couple of numbered events, no longer pay-per-views, and then they leave us high and dry.
And then they're done.
What's up with that?
You know, it was just a nice little teaser, but maybe that's the problem now that when you have one company that's doing so many things, maybe they just couldn't get the UFC as repeated as they could.
I am assuming it's because this Saturday is Valentine's Day, so that is
maybe
kind of a fan. I'm assuming I'd have to look back through the years. I don't think they normally do. Do they
I don't
normally
think they
skip
normally
February? If it's February 14th, they usually skip. I feel like it's a day you kind of want to stay away from because you want people to go out and do their date night things and all that.
I mean, fight night, watching a nice fight night is a nice date out,
if the girl can't go watch the fights with you, then is she the right girl?
She got to get kicked to the curb.
Not to say there's not a lot going on, right? Gosh, we went to the UFC BJJ weigh-ins at the Meta Apex.
Yes.
And it's crazy how much stuff's going on, right? Because you've got the weigh-ins going on for UFC BJJ. They had check-in going on for Zuffa Boxing. So you had like two different teams of all kinds
in the
of
little same room.
It's crazy, man.
It felt like tough tryouts.
Yeah.
Remember we go to the Palace Station and then they'd have a table set up here and you have people signing up stuff. There'd be another table when they're just one step further, and when you're one step further, you're over here getting ready to go to the weigh-in station or whatever and get your picture taken and stuff. And I remember just feeling like, this is crazy. But it was fun. It was kind of electric.
Well, we kind of
in the room.
You and I kind of talked about, or at least I did specifically. Then I kind of talked to you about like, hey, I think I want to go start covering this stuff just because there's nobody really covering it, and it's why don't we go see what's going on over there? You know what I mean? See what's happening. I gotta be honest with you, I enjoyed it. It's so much more like kind of low key. Like there's not a lot of media there.
Yeah.
And I feel like maybe there's less pressure to everybody. Not that the expectations aren't still high in terms of deliverables and what they need to do, but I don't know. I just felt like we caught up with a bunch of people on staff that we never really get a chance to talk with. I don't know. I enjoyed it. It was kind of fun.
Yeah, it was definitely low-key. I went and pulled up 2025. It looks like we had a UFC event on February 15th, 2025.
So the 15th is different. I think it's just
when
I think it's when it's on February 14th.
Yeah.
They usually skip February 14th because it is Valentine's.
But yeah, but it can't happen that often.
No, not very often.
I don't know. I'm sure they could say that's like every 6 or 7 years or whatever. Like I don't know how that rotates around the schedule.
Now, let's also be clear. So we mentioned UFC BJJ. We mentioned Zuffa Boxing. So UFC BJJ tonight, Thursday night, Zuffa Boxing Sunday. But if you're looking for some combat sports action on Saturday, it's not that there's none happening. Certainly, you can check out Lingerie Fighting Championships with John Morgan and Cold Coffee on the call. I mean, how funny is that? We've done this on Valentine's Day, I think, the last couple of years because my wife, luckily my wife doesn't care. My wife does care a lot about days. Like birthdays are huge to her, anniversary, like things like that are very important. But Valentine's Day is not one that really hits her register as like, hey, we need to do something on Valentine's Day. Because I believe one year you and I were actually calling Lingerie Fighting Championship at a strip club on Valentine's Day.
Yes, we were.
And I thought that was pretty fun. And actually, if I recall correctly, my key fob on my car, for whatever reason, died of battery. And so I had to ask my wife to put my son in the car and drive to the strip club to give me my other key fob on Valentine's Day. I mean, is that husband of the year like dad of the year?
Love. Kind of that's love. Boy, that was when they were super hot, weren't they?
Oh,
was that the one they were like just like holy cow? Like I remember when we were clearing the room afterwards and leaving, they were like bussing the tables and they were like 11s. I was like, what is going on?
I was like, take your paycheck and go home, bro. Do not make eye contact. Do not stop. They're like, do you want a cocktail? I'm like, absolutely not. I don't, ma'am. I don't normally drink, so I'm gonna.
Is that Sapphire?
Sapphire.
Oh my Lord.
Sapphire is Sapphire and the Rhino both are still like top notch, man. Like, so if you're coming to Vegas and you want to do the strip club thing, come well funded because it's not cheap. But yes, that was funny. So yes, not.
I forgot that was on Valentine's Day.
On Valentine's Day, I mean
that was a fun setup because we were up on. It's funny. what else happened on the stage that we were sitting at? Because we were up on that little stage looking down. They set up the ring in the floor, and then we were up on the stage. I didn't think about that till right now. I was like, oh, this is where that's where like the show marquee would be right there.
That was a good time, man. That was fun. We've had some ventures. We've done a couple of the strip club ones over the years.
Yeah.
Couple of paid appearances at the strip clubs. But so I actually do have some Valentine's Day plans, though. I'll just throw it out there, and if it means I need to check my man card, I'll check my man card over the weekend. I'll leave it with you. Hopefully you let me pick it up next week. But I'm going to the Backstreet Boys at the Sphere on Sunday.
I like it.
It's a little non.
Is she going to dress you in any particular outfit?
Okay, now that's not happening. I think like they've done a thing where like you're supposed to wear all white or something like that.
Is that that's still the thing, right?
I think so.
Oh yeah.
I'm not going to pretend to be an expert.
You're going to
in it.
have to wear a white shirt at least.
I don't own a white shirt.
Well, tell your girl.
I'll be wearing. You know what I'll be wearing?
She wants you to wear white.
I will be wearing.
Whether she does not tell you that or not.
I'll be wearing cargo shorts.
Find white shorts.
A black polo. And
you definitely can't wear black. You're going to step out. You're going to really stick out. Your girl wants you to wear white.
She hasn't mentioned it, and she knows that I don't know anything white.
Well, it's Valentine's Day. You got to go above and beyond.
You
will literally, if you go, you still got time to Amazon your overnight your white shirt and your white polo.
I'll ask.
And white loafers.
I'll let white. That's not happening. So I will say this.
Or white boat shoes.
So it is pretty cool. And I think I might have mentioned it to you before. We might have even talked about it here. But a friend of hers bought a suite at the Sphere.
Oh, wow.
And so she asked me. And so I guess like my wife's already seen it. Her friend's already seen it. They wanted to go again because they enjoyed the show so much. And obviously the Sphere is badass. They wanted to go again, but all the tickets were sold out.
I'm gonna read this Reddit thing right after you get done saying it.
All right, so they bought this suite so that they could go, and then the friend like sold back tickets or whatever. So she ended up, but she laid down the money for the initial price.
I guarantee that was a lot of money.
Not
friend
cheap.
Doing okay.
Yeah, friend's doing all right. So so my wife asked me if I wanted to go, and truthfully, like not. Specifically, do I really care about seeing the Backstreet Boys? Yeah. But it is with my wife.
You'll know more songs than you think you will.
Oh, definitely. I grew up in that time. So it's a night out with my wife, and it's something she likes. And you got to go to a suite in the Sphere. I didn't. So I was out of town when you guys had the UFC preview.
Yeah,
for you too.
Yeah, you too.
And so I didn't get to go. And so to be honest with you, it was like, how many times am I going to get an opportunity to go to a suite at the Sphere? Yeah. So I'm like, you know what?
I hope it's as decked out as ours. Like.
I'm sure.
You had food and liquor. I was like, is that a normal thing?
So apparently there is. So with the suite purchase, there was like a food and beverage allotment, and so she gave notes and like she's got like so many beers, so many bottles, so many whatever. So I don't know if it'll be as decked out as the UFC had it because the UFC.
But at least there's some.
But there'll at least be some.
Yeah.
So even if I sit in the back and have a cocktail or whatever, but
One of the things I saw on Reddit, one of the things is like, yes, you should wear all white or light blue or you will stand out. People will literally look at you and says. It's to match the Into the Millennium theme. While not mandatory, it is highly recommended to fit the white-out aesthetic, with many attendees wearing Y2K-inspired clothing such as butterfly clips and denim. Oh, that's just very friendly right there.
Okay, so wait, but blue? Can I wear my but not like the blue that I wear cage side?
Probably not your. It's probably talking like a sky blue or something, or what is millennium blue? I don't know what color millennium blue is, which is probably like almost white. Dude, I think
I'm texting my wife right now. Do I have to wear white on Sunday?
And ask her, would you be happier if I got an all white, if I got a white outfit? Put it to her.
Okay, she's typing back now. She said, "No, you don't."
Say, would you like me to wear it? Do it. Type, would you like me to wear it?
Kenny wants you to
ask, would you like me to wear it? I'm glad everybody's listening to this experiment in real time.
She says your baby blue shirt will be okay.
Oh. All right. She's being very giving to you. She wants to wear it.
I got the right girl, huh?
She knows what she's got. She's like, I know what. I'll pick my battles. And Backstreet Boys wearing all white is not going to be the battle.
All right. She said that. Yeah, that's true. She said they asked people to wear white, and people did white and blue, but many people didn't follow that. So, and you know what? If they're staring at me, I'll just flip them the bird for my suite.
Well, I was going to say, you're going to be in the suite. You're like, I'm
common man down there. Hello, I can barely see your contempt from there. You're so far down.
I just wanted to match the interior of this suite, bitches. That's funny. No, that's cool.
She said, no, honey, and then sent me hearts.
But she's glad that you asked. That's funny. Well, good. Well, that's good.
There you go. So that's my open plans for weekend.
Well, dude, that's pretty cool. I mean, and like we said, like Man Card or whatever. I mean, like when I've listened to a lot of the jams that people were putting the videos out, I was like, oh man, I forgot that was them. Or I remember that song. So yeah, you'll have a good time.
And I just think anything at the Sphere is any chance you get to go to the Sphere. By the way, I saw this too. It literally is kind of funny that we were talking about this, and this is before we were talking about the Sphere. So this was not the phone listening to me, which of course we all know this phone is definitely listening to you. This was Las Vegas locally. Obviously, a great follow for anybody on Twitter/X or whatever. Posted this. Vegas Sphere revenue skyrocketed to $274.2 million in Q4 2025, a 62% year-over-year increase. More than 2 million tickets to the new Wizard of Oz show have already been sold. So
does it say that they're profitable though?
It doesn't say that, which it still might not be, but a 62% year-over-year increase is.
No, that's good. I mean, fantastic. I think it's trending in the right direction because I mean, I don't think they haven't been profitable since they opened. So if they're getting to that point, all the better, and I think they're smart, like picking their battles, finding the things that work, and finding things that can live for a while, like that. The letters, what is it? You went and saw it, Letters from
Postcards from Earth.
Postcards from Earth. You can run that all the time. Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
You can run that all the time. Concerts aren't going to be there all the time, but if they find things that people want to go see, you could just run them.
I heard. Did you hear the rumor that Metallica's coming? That'd be a good show.
I heard Metallica, and I heard there were some other ones. I was like, oh shit, that'd be interesting to see. Like No Doubt's coming back. Gwen Stefani, I think, was there. When I was listening to some of that, I was like, oh, it didn't really sound good, but I was trusting that the phone audio didn't do it justice,
right.
So
well, the audio there is so good.
Oh, and that's why it was like she didn't sound that good. It wasn't so much the whatever, but I mean it'd still be fun. But whatever, it could have been a bad recording. But No Doubt, which is a band that a lot of us heard when we were younger. They're always finding these acts.
They're always going to skew older in terms of acts, right? Because you need to have money to go there, right? Tickets are not cheap, so I'm sure the artists are always going to skew towards fans that are in their 40s and 50s and 60s and have some expendable income.
But then when they do those digital shows, like some of those DJ shows, like holy cow, when they've really ramped up the screen. I mean, nothing goes better with that screen than ecstasy.
I was about to say, they're just tripping balls in there.
Putting up safety ropes. Don't fall down. Oh. There is a space. There is a gap. They need to just have people that
not sell the top floor. The 400 section is closed.
They just have sober people they pay to stand there and just watch the row. Watch the row. When you see somebody that looks like they don't see the right space.
If you're going to go to the Sphere, be careful if you buy the 400 section. It's very, very steep, and it's just an optical illusion. It is steep, but it's an optical illusion, and it feels steeper. It feels like it gives you this weird vertigo type thing.
Yeah.
So
crazy.
There's your Sphere update. Sphere talk. All right, listen. This past weekend was CFFC 150. Even though there is no UFC this week, I need a rest after last week. CFFC 150, and then immediately flew back and went straight to the Apex. Literally just dropped my bags off at home and went straight to the Apex. CFFC 150 didn't get a chance to check out the replay on UFC Fight Pass. Please do. Some great performances. Busarman Jumagul, who I'm sure if you've listened to us or watched CFFC, he's been one of the rising talents for a while, but he's a champion now. 5-0, 5 finishes. Went to the second round, but he got it done in just 42 seconds. It was the first time he'd been out of the first round. Big win for him. William Starks got the upset win over Nikita Leshkov. A lot of people were very, very hyped on Nikita Leshkov. He was 8-0 coming in. He had some difficulties, man. He had some kind of miscommunication with a coach. I don't know exactly what happened, but he ended up flying to Philadelphia. He's training here in Vegas. He's from over in Europe, but he's moved to Vegas. He's training with Extreme Couture, and he ended up flying to Philly on his own and was trying to do his weight cut and everything. And I think it was a little bit of a challenge for him, but take nothing away from William Starks. William Starks, 12-3, biggest win of his career. Kind of a veteran of the game. William Starks is interesting. 12-3 as a pro. He was also 15-1 as an amateur. Had a couple of IMMAF titles, and so I think that experience. I always talk about getting that experience, man. I understand why you want to get you want to turn from amateur to pro as fast as possible. You want to get from pro to the UFC as fast as possible. And I'll never, demean anybody for wanting to do that because they want to make money. Like you only have so many rounds in your body, right? Why waste them as an amateur? Why waste them as, on the developmental regional scene? But I will say, man, the more experience you can get and you become a finished product in the UFC, I think that's very, very beneficial. So William Starks, veteran performance.
Everybody was getting those call-outs out. It was so funny listening to everybody. Did I earn my shot? I'm like, I think I'm ready.
William Starks was great. So Buserman was great, and again, they know what they're there for. They're trying to get these things. Buserman was great. He was like, dude, Dana White's Contender Series, short notice, 170, 185.
I thought that was smart. Just saying the Contender Series. Like, even just to bring that up, I was like, It showed that he's paying attention to the products that are available and, like, saying, don't just think I'm asking for a show. Like, to sign me to a contract. Like, I'll do what I need to do.
Wherever you need me to go. I'll do it whatever weight class.
That would be awesome to see him on the Contenders.
I'd love to see it, man. And he did it in English, which, he's learning his English. It is important. I always say, like, I never want to sound like an a-hole American. You got to speak English. No, you speak the language where you came from. But in terms of your fighting career and your popularity and your connection with the fans, it just helps. This is the biggest market. It helps. So
I went and I looked at his clip on your guys' thing, and you look at the people responding to it. They're not responding in English.
No.
So you could definitely see he's hitting it with their people, but that's smart that he's catering to the larger market that he's trying to get to.
Smart.
So
still speak your native language. Still address your country. You know what I mean? But also speak English, man. It helps. It goes a long way. So that was great. But I liked William Starks because William Starks just kind of like, he's like, you've seen this before, but he got down on his knees, kind of like the GSP, and he's like, but I thought it was so great. He was like, I humbly, respectfully asked for this opportunity to prove that I am capable of competing with the elite in the world. You know what I mean? It was just so well said, not just like, Dana, give me a call. You know what I mean? It was like, whether it helps or whatever, I don't know, but I liked it. And then Arisa Matsuda, who absolutely steamrolled Ian Turson, undefeated, and I thought it was great too. Same thing, right? Like Arisa, obviously she's from Japan. English is her second language, and she's learning it. But she made sure to say in English, she's like, I want UFC. Like, hey, it's something.
She was badass. And she's adorable. She's adorable. When I saw her pictures earlier in the fight week, I was just thinking, man, if she can fight to match like being cute and then to say everything, I was like, she's got star quality,
especially
like, there.
Especially right now, you're talking about maybe going over to Japan. Obviously you got Horiguchi, you got Taira. I think Matsuda. She proved herself as a UFC capable fighter, and put her on the roster if you go to Japan. I think either way, so maybe she can defend the title, but she might get snatched up right away. I would see Matsuda. I would say honestly, I think deserves to be in the UFC.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't even think she needs to go. Buserman at 5-0, he needs to go to Contender Series. I think that's what he deserves. And, Starks, maybe like a late notice fill-in or something like that. I mean, obviously the lightweight division is deep, but, veteran experience. And then obviously you had a great performance from Damian Anderson as well. Damian Anderson, man, he had a painful submission win over Hondo Gutierrez. So I think there's going to be a lot of good stuff out of Hondo as well in the future. But Damian is legit, man. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, co-owner of Simple Man Martial Arts in Austin. A New Jersey native, so he had a crowd. Half the crowd was he sold. Yeah, it was crazy, awesome, man. So it was good stuff. I tell you what, though, man, I have never been happier to get home. And I love my CFFC family. I love my crew out there. I love that venue, 2300 Arena. If you ever get a chance to come see a fight, like we do a lot of shows on the East Coast. Obviously, Atlantic City. Our biggest shows are always at Atlantic City because that's the biggest room, the Hard Rock. It's amazing, right? 2300 Arena, though, is such a cool place to see fights. It's the old ECW arena. It's, under an overpass down in South Philly, and it's got that old school grit to it. It's a cool place to see a fight. Definitely come see a fight there. So I love it there. But it was cold, bro. So cold. So I took a picture. I don't know if you saw it. I posted on social media. When I landed back in Vegas to go to the UFC, I have the weather of like all the cities that we go to on my weather app, just so I can see, like, because we go to the same cities over and over. And it was 70 degrees in Vegas when I touched down.
It was gorgeous that day.
It was beautiful.
Yes.
It was 10 degrees in Philadelphia. 10 degrees. It was.
Did it feel cold? 10 sounds cold, but did it feel cold because it was cold, or cold because you had your cold shorts.
What did it? Yeah, my warm shorts. I was in my cold shorts, so it was a little bit. No, it was the ice had been down. Like, the ice around our hotel, like where we were driving our car into the parking lot. Cars are driving over these ridges of ice and they won't break up. You know what I mean? Like it was brutally cold. And I woke up that morning. I went to the airport around like 6 a.m. and dude, it was snowing and the wind was blowing sideways. I'm like, I was like, dude, I'm never getting out of here.
That's why we moved from that shit. But everybody's always like, don't you miss the snow? Don't you miss it? What you're describing is exactly what I was really glad to leave.
Yeah.
Like, no, I don't miss that at all. Like, just that freezing in your bones where you're just like, you're outside and you feel like, well, if I stayed out here, I might actually die.
Yeah.
Like, this is not good.
It's brutal, man. I was asking I think my Uber driver was talking to me on the way, and I was like, dude,
Did he look at you when you got in the car?
Yeah, like, what are you wearing shorts for?
He's like, bro, you're not from here, are you?
I definitely get those sometimes. But I was talking to the Uber driver, and I was like, man, I don't know how you guys do this, man.
Yeah.
He was like, we hate it. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, good. I was like, I thought you guys found some joy or love in this, but fortunately there was no. It was funny. We walked into the Admirals Club or whatever. I'm like, hey, they were like, can we assist you guys with anything with your flights? And I was just like, I'm on like the 8:30 to Vegas. I'm like, are planes actually like taking off and landing right now? Because literally the wind is blowing the snow sideways. And she's like, it's just a snowstorm, baby. And I was like, okay. I'm like, this doesn't look safe to operate planes in.
Like,
but
yeah, okay.
I was like, I guess y'all just used to this. So love my crew out there. Love Philly. But man, I was ready to be home. All right, listen, a couple things going on. No event this week. We will be heading over to UFC BJJ in a little bit, but couple things, I guess. First thing, I want to touch on this because you and I were kind of talking off air, and I need to go check it out because I see a lot of discussion ongoing about the lawsuits that are going on and the testimony, and obviously Dana being on the stand and Hunter being on the stand, and what that all was. Obviously, there's a lot of discussion seen with Dominance MMA and Ali Abdelaziz and this document presentation that they need to do. Presentation is not the right word, but they need to collect and present the documents.
Yep.
That would not be a present. I mean, if you're presenting something, I guess that is a presentation of documents. It just sounds like the wrong word.
But I think
what I mean.
They have like a legal term for it because they went to law school, so they're allowed to call it something else.
So I guess one thing I want to point, because you were telling me, because I didn't know. Usually I will try to catch up on Spinning Back Click when I'm doing something, but I've just been busy and I haven't. But you guys had John Nash on, who obviously is
he's the guy we always reference.
He's an expert. Yeah, I mean, he's an expert in the field, and he gave a half hour kind of breaking it all down. So I guess I would
and
just
he literally could. I would tell people definitely go listen to it. I mean, like, I think he'll be back on, but you could tell even in the 30 minutes, and there were some follow-up questions from the guys. He could talk for hours on it, you know. And I know it's funny because he started off the thing saying like, "Well, if I didn't know," he's like, "I didn't know it was going to be like videotaped or screened." He's like, "If I did, I would have did like Nolan and stayed home and watched it."
Because he traveled, right?
Because he came out to Vegas.
I actually heard, because he does his own little podcast as well. I won't say little, like it's the meeting or whatever, but you know what I mean, like a shorter podcast of his own. But I actually listened to it from Philadelphia. Because I saw it and I was like, well, I'm interested. I want to learn more about this and know what's going on.
Hey, not the face.
Hey, not the face. And and it was funny. He was referencing that. He was like, they said it after the fact, after he'd made the decision to.
I mean, there is something different. I went down there for, it was kind of unique, but I went down there for one of the Diaz cases. And I remember there was just something about being in the whole courtroom or whatever. I was like, this is kind of neat.
It is cool.
It's kind of unique.
It's
sort
like
of
old
experience.
school reporting. Like you got to be there.
But he said with this one, they asked some different things where they made them no phones were allowed or anything like that. They had to put it. He was like, it was kind of freeing to not have my phone for like the 2 days. But I was like, what has to happen to get a judge to make that be a thing? Like they're that worried about what is going to be said. It has to come from the Zuffa lawyer side.
But then if you're videoing, if you're streaming it simultaneously.
But because I guess they clear it. I guess that's their way of saying we can't have this be completely without documentation.
Right.
so that everybody that gets access is vetted by them and is allowed into the viewing thing by the court things or whatever.
I saw I
yeah.
saw Josh Gross tweet that he was there as well, and I think he said he took like 22 pages of notes because you can't, like you said, you can't have your phone, you're not recording, so he took like 22 pages of notes. While
it's crazy. I mean, because even then, say you're on the videotape, they will explicitly tell you, unless there's clearance asked, you cannot screen record, you can't record the stuff that's going on. Do people maybe do off to the side for their own transcription?
Hell yeah,
of course they do.
Of course they do.
But you can't take that and put it on your website. You can't put it on the site, that sort of stuff. Because a lot of that stuff was same with like Cain Velasquez.
Okay,
stuff.
I didn't realize that aspect of it. Because I'm like, how is it fair that I can't record it in the room, but it's streaming out to the world?
Yeah, but you can watch it, but you're not supposed to record it and do the other sort of stuff.
Somebody definitely like set up a camera off to the.
Well, I mean, because sometimes I don't know how. Some platforms, depending on what you go through, will block screen recorders and stuff like that. I don't know if this court has that capabilities, but more than likely, even if you did, you would be at risk of putting yourself in legal
because you weren't supposed to.
Because you weren't supposed to.
It's
so if you would take that and put that on your YouTube or your news site or whatever, you could then be in violation of that, and then it could be in. But does somebody record it just for their notes?
I was going to say, because me, everybody. When I was writing. To me, it was always imperative to get the quote exactly right.
Exactly right, as you should.
Not more, not close, not paraphrasing. Like it needs to be word for word. And I used to instill that to all of our writers that were coming up. I was like, if I go back and listen to an interview and I'm reading or editing something that you wrote and the words don't match up, I'm like, that's a failure, dude. You can't just kind of put maybe what they said, because if it changes one tiny little meaning, that person now has the right to be like, bro, what are you doing? You know what I mean? You did me dirty. You did me wrong.
Yep.
So anyway. Yep. But worth checking out, right, to get some knowledge on it.
Yeah, and because I don't want to try to like say the wrong things to try to describe some of the stuff. It's better to go it that way. But I would say I was very, very, it was very interesting, and you could definitely tell the guy knows his stuff. I mean, he has studied. He has been living and breathing this case. He was very much a wealth of knowledge on this thing. So.
I'll tell you what's been interesting to me, and Hunter Campbell, when he was on the stand, he brought up the fact that Mick Maynard was a little frustrated that he had to turn over his phone, and now you've got Ali Abdelaziz saying, hey, listen. The first thing, as I understand, was they said, look, we're a small company that doesn't have a lot of companies. We don't have or a lot of employees. We don't have time to collect all this evidence that you need.
Yep.
And they said, all right, fine. We got a third-party company that handled it all. And then he's come back and said, listen, there's so much sensitive and private information here. I don't want to turn all this over, especially to somebody that has, talked bad about me on social media. Like I know what their motivation is, et cetera, et cetera. It is interesting, right, to think how much is on our phones. Like I guess it's just like a reminder to anybody in the business world or whatever. I mean, not that you would ever expect that my phone would need to be taken for any reason, but like, gee, I'll be honest with you, I don't think I'd do anything. But handing over all your information to somebody and just being like, hey man, you have access to every message I've ever sent and that is a little. I don't know, man. Like, not scary, but like it's weird to me.
I guess that's what happened. I mean, I guess that's the legal system that we're in today. Like, if you are associated with something that then becomes a lawsuit, a criminal case, anything, and you're associated with that person, or you're associated with a possibility with that case, if there's a court order to do it, you have no say in it.
That's wild. And I guess you trust the court that, like,
yes,
I guess you trust the court
willy-nilly, saying yes.
Like, here's you and your wife's, like, here in the documentation is you and your wife's messages or whatever. Like, I guess the only thing that should
and it has to specify. It can't just say, like, it probably has to say don't go through the pictures unless there's some reason. They would probably have to ask for that access. But I mean, I would think most people would say, they would probably clear that, because say there's pictures of the fighters with Dana and the whatever, and they're asking for all this stuff, they probably would ask for that. But yeah, you would think that in just a normal case, they don't have willy-nilly to do whatever. If there's a locked things on there, they probably can't get into encrypted things or whatever unless it's specifically asked for.
That would just be wild.
It is wild.
That would make me nervous. That would make me, and I don't think I'm doing anything wrong.
Well, and that's the thing. Most people in their everyday lives wouldn't ever have an issue where something's going to happen.
Right.
But say if you're dealing in business and you're dealing with contracts and some sort of your life has some sort of aspect where there could be some sort of legal thing, like you're making contracts or you're in charge of 30 staffers and at times you have to cut staff. I would be wary that if you did something wrong, you might be subpoenaed. You could have that sort of thing. But if you're a line cook and you're doing whatever, you're probably good. Nobody's ever going to ask about the management documentations or whatever. They're not going to say if that restaurant comes, into question of doing shady dealings. They're not going to ask the line cooks for their phones,
right.
That sort of deal. But yeah, I mean, it is scary. It is unfortunate, that every day somebody could take your things, but I guess it just depends if you're in that position where something might, but it can happen. It's got to be legal. They got to have things, and I know right now in this country, a lot of people are wary because a lot of things are happening where people feel like they're not getting the due process that's supposed to be to give up things. There are things that are supposed to be in place, and in this sort of case, there is something in place that's supposed to say you don't have to give up your phone unless this.
I'll be interested to see how the case plays out, right? Because I know they talked about Dominus, they talked about Iridium as well.
Yeah.
Which Dominus has, without question, the highest profile, the biggest collection of high-profile athletes on their roster. Meanwhile, I'd probably venture to say, and I don't know Iridium's roster entirely, but I'd venture to say Iridium probably has the most UFC athletes on the roster. Maybe not as many high-profile. I think they represent Joshua Vance. They have a champion now.
Yeah.
But I mean, they have.
Yeah, it's hard to tell because a lot of fighters didn't start with them, and then sometimes just migrate to these guys because they're getting their fighters.
So that's what's interesting, right?
Stuff,
is that's what part of the discussion is like, are these managers really doing their clients right? You know what I mean? Or are they working with the UFC to artificially suppress wages, or are they not? Are they not pressing for maximum value? But it's so interesting, right? Because when you have that many athletes, you have a much better understanding of what the actual pay rates are because you see so many. Like, if you represent one person, you're going into negotiations pretty damn blind because you're like, I don't know. I don't know what they normally pay people in this situation. What can I ask for? What can I not? You know what I mean? But if you represent 100, you've done hundreds and hundreds of contracts. You know exactly what the pay rates are, et cetera, et cetera. So it's like kind of an easier negotiation. Well, I know this guy made this in this situation. He's in a similar record, a similar point in his career. I think he should make the same. You know what I mean? So it's like, does that mean you're not fighting for maximum value if you kind of know what their pay range is? So I think that part of it's interesting. And the other part is, too, like, especially if one of the things they're looking for is communication. Like, I know I saw a lot of people, there was something that came out, and I apologize, I don't remember who the manager was, but I'm sure you saw it. It was a manager and Mick Maynard having a discussion, and the text was pointed out, and people were criticizing the manager of kind of being a little too chummy and a little too friendly and that sort of thing. But it's like, you don't want every negotiation to be a battle or all of a sudden like they're going to stop wanting to deal with you. You know what I mean? Where it's like, it helps to have good relationships with people, even if you're having negotiations. Like, you don't need every negotiation to be like, bro, we're going into war and we're butting heads, and you know what I mean? And he's like,
and he's like Australian, right?
Yeah.
So like I would start every email like, "What's up, you sick cunt?" And like every email would be like, "What's up, sick cunt?"
Yeah, I just, to me, like, I don't. You're spot on right there. But
and somebody like, "Oh, he's awful chummy." I'm like, "No, I'm just speaking in his native language."
Native language, bro. I'm bilingual. I'm bilingual. But like, I don't think every negotiation has to be again contentious. You know what I mean? Like, can't you just be like, Mick, bro, you're my boy, but you know that you know what I mean? Like, it can still, I don't know.
I mean, but all this on the flip side, all these conversations are important pieces of information where I could see where somebody's like, if they feel like they weren't getting their fair share or certain matchmaking things were happening where I didn't feel like I was getting the fair shake, all that text, these conversations do make sense to be shown. And then if you can't produce the stuff, people are like, how can I not think shenanigans are not happening?
I thought that was the most, because I haven't listened to the Spinning Back discussion, but like I said, I did listen to the podcast initially after, and I thought that was the most interesting part of the legal case, is that the legal document, the legal, ruling or whatever is if I make a claim and you can't produce the documents that should be able to counter my claim, then the judge has to assume that my claim is correct. Is basically what you understand, right?
At least on the things where you can't, because they're giving them a chance to say, like, all right, if you're going to try to, I think, do a blanket sort of statement around this time frame, but you have no documentation to cover your side, why am I going to – I think we're going to lean on their side. If you can't produce it, if you can't produce the things they say to cover – because they're probably showing something on their side to produce it or whatever.
Right.
Here's me asking. Here's my documentation. Here's my whatever. And if you have absolutely zilch –
Don't we just have to assume
we have to assume the people that are going out of the way to give us what we need so we can at least make a decision. All the more important, whenever you're getting this, and I think the why part of that fairness or why they're doing that route is I think a lot of people want to just say, well, I tried to look for it. I tried, but I just couldn't find it. And I think a lot of people have done that over time that finally the court system are just like, that's not good enough.
Right.
You can't just say, well, I tried, but I couldn't find it. You got to be better than that,
right.
And I think any business, even when you do your own taxes and things like that, you're supposed to hold on to the paperwork for years.
Yep.
None of us do.
Nobody does.
But I mean, that's the thing. If you're doing business, you're supposed to be hanging on to those sort of stuff. So, I think it just gets to the point when you're so big, you're like, well, I don't have whatever, and the courts are like, that's just not good enough.
Yeah.
Which, hearing all that side of things, when they separated the cases and all this stuff was going on, I was like, man, these guys, they're going to get bum kissed. Like, they're going to get screwed. They're going to get whatever.
Since they weren't
because they weren't part of the album. When you start hearing this sort of stuff happening, and you hear like what you're mentioning of just like, well, if the UFC starting to like, well, we don't have stuff. We don't have this. And then you have courts starting to say, well, if you're starting to like come like this, we're just going to start believing them over here. And if you can't provide something, I'm starting to feel much more confident that I think they're going to get something.
Yeah,
they're not going to get maybe what they want the most,
right?
But I think they're going to get certainly more than what I was thinking initially, and what the UFC probably. I think the UFC thought by allowing them to separate it off or whatever, that they were going to be able to push this one off and just get away with it. It doesn't seem like that anymore.
And especially, I mean, just from a court's perspective, like, you've got these individuals over here who feel that they've been wronged, and then you have a multi-billion-dollar corporation over here that says, I don't have the documentation to prove they weren't. Like, who are you siding with?
It doesn't
bode well, right?
Yeah, I mean, because even if anything, they're not. It's not like they're gonna get a massive windfall, but it certainly feels like they are now going to get something.
Interesting. Well,
because as more stuff kind of points out, and then but yeah, I mean, it's a lot of stuff. I mean, it's crazy because I don't think Dana never even had to testify in the first time.
No, I don't really.
Like, why did it get to this point? Like, it's getting down to the nitty gritty. Like, I guess they were like, if you don't testify, we're definitely going to weigh in their favor or something like. So I mean, it's definitely momentum's happened, but I mean, I guess it's maybe one of the sides when your company is now getting rated as much more valuable. Like, you can't just escape these obligations. But I thought it was pretty telling that for Dana to have to get on the stand and say all these things, I was like, that's they got compelled very hard to get in that court and do this stuff. So that's like a legal term for something too. We were compelled or something. I'm not sure what it means.
Very
but
legal term.
I know. I felt like that was like
strong, strong. Right there.
Like
strong.
Bravo channel just popped in my head, or whatever channel would have legal shows on it.
All right, listen. I guess honestly, a non-fight week, but I guess probably one of the big stories is Jailton Almeida getting released from the UFC.
Yeah.
And, I think people are kind of divided on it. There's some people like, oh, my God, how can you have a guy that's ranked so high get released? It
was not a great performance. I'm surprised.
I am surprised. I'll be honest with you. I am. Now, we don't know what else went on. We don't know if there were any kind of negotiations.
Yep.
I mean, that stuff always plays into it as well. What were the discussions? What happened behind the scenes? I am surprised, but I think I think it sends a pretty damn clear message. Like, look, man, you fight like this, we don't got a spot for you around here.
Yep. And I told you what Rizwan said in the back, right? About when they were clinching up and stuff, that he was sticking his hands in his glove and he was fighting dirty. So, like, whenever they were clinched up against the side trying to do whatever, he said Jailton kept putting his hands in his glove, so that's why he couldn't really do a lot of things on the clinches and stuff. He's like,
wow.
I was like, how often? He's like, every time. He's like, go back and look. He's like, I was complaining to the ref, telling him like he's doing it again in his things like that. So you had a lackluster performance. You end up getting beat. And if they went back and did, like, say they just went back and looked and saw like, oh, he was cheating and still looked like that.
Right.
Get him out.
That's why you and your boy Rizvan were
me and Rizvan, he was just like, Kenny, let me give you a piece of information from my fight. I don't know. He sounded like he was Brooklyn there. He's like, I had some great pizza today. And then I learned how to speak English.
Was the post-fight connection as strong as the pre-fight connection?
No, I think it was.
Did we have like an Iron Turtle situation going on
Not
here?
as good as the Iron Turtle. It was still more like, oh, it's this fucking guy again, kind of look. But I did think about that. But it was not the. Every time we see Jailton, there was that. I remember that first round. I was like, okay, because when I saw them, you saw them when they got on the scale and when they faced off. You're like, wow, okay, they're both big boys, but Rizvan next level, big, thick.
Right.
And then I was like, man, is he gonna just push him around? And that first round, I was like, okay, Jailton's there. He's gonna do some stuff. And then it was like quickly, no, he has no answer. And then it just looked lackluster. And I was like, oh my goodness. And then. So at the very end, when he was saying like, oh yeah, and he was cheating too, and I was just like, oh, this doesn't bode well. So I was still surprised because even if you are number 6 and you lose, you're still top 10.
Yeah.
Even though the guy wasn't ranked, but still, like, you think that you would hang on to him. I just feel like they were already maybe questioning or something. I think some of his last performances, maybe that's why people were just like, why people say the heavyweight is a mess right now because maybe he shouldn't have been as high as he was. Maybe he was more.
Well, it's like even
latter part of the top 15.
It's a hard one too because with the rankings, like, does Rizvan automatically deserve to be number 6 because he beat number 6? Like, I don't know, but it's kind of hard. Like, there's the heavyweight division is thin right now. There's no question about it. But yeah, I mean, look, he had 2 really bad performances in a row. I'm not saying that's necessarily justified. I mean, the UFC can do whatever they want. I mean, the contracts are written in such a way that after a loss, they can do whatever they want.
They've got rid of guys on wins.
Yeah. So my understanding is they can't terminate anybody off of a win unless their contract is over. So if you see somebody, like I think people were talking about Javid Basharat being removed from the roster, coming off a win, I think that's only if that's the last fight of your contract. That's my understanding. Unless there's a some kind of a moral clause or you have some kind of arrest or something like that. Like, they need to terminate with cause. My understanding is the way the contracts are written is after a loss they can do whatever they want. After a win they have to keep you unless it was the end of your deal and that was the termination of it. I have not heard word on that. I suppose I could hit up. I think he's a dominance fighter, so I'm sure I could hit up Ali Abdelaziz and ask him what the situation is with that. But I just do think at the end of the day they're sending a very clear message. Like, look, man. Paramount came in and spent $7.7 billion. Like, they want entertainment, they want action, and we're just not going to put up with it anymore. If you're not coming in to be an action-type fighter, that's, you're gone. And, I can see people saying that's harsh, and I get it. It's supposed to be a sport. It's that thing. People always go back, is this a sport? Is it not a sport? It is and it isn't. You know what I mean? It is and it isn't. This isn't just wins and losses. We've said that forever. You got to connect with the fans. You got to resonate. And I don't know. I just think this shows exactly what their intention is. That if you don't come out and you don't entertain, they're not going to keep you around.
I'm surprised around the Jabi one. I didn't realize he was let go. And you mentioned that. I was like, let me check that. I was like, sure enough.
Yeah, he was let go. I think Alex Morono was another one of the ones.
Yeah.
Which Alex has been around for a long time. He's had a lot of losses. Good dude.
Yeah,
but
he's a really good dude. But that was tough to watch.
That was tough to watch, man.
That was rough.
That was tough to watch.
Man, it's funny because we talked to both the brothers, man. They were on the high of highs, because both of them got through that night. And then look at that.
And one of them's not there.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah, it's wild, man.
That's a quick turn of events.
Well, hopefully they'll resign. I think he deserves to still be there at the UFC level. So we shall see. All right, listen. Some new. I'm sure everybody knows by now, but UFC already making their CBS debut. UFC 326 Friday. Let's see, what is this? Hold on. This is the UFC is coming out. So UFC 326. What day is that? I need the UFC schedule in front of me here. That's how prepared I am. March 7th is when that is. March 7th. That, of course, is Holloway and Oliveira 2, the rematch. So that will be on CBS, which I think is a great deal. I think the way it's set up, it'll be the final 2 prelims and the first 2 main card fights will be on CBS. I don't know if it's always going to be that way. They haven't said. That's an interesting way to do it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're still trying to
weird.
They're still trying to convert people to Paramount Plus, but yeah, I think we all assumed that the main card would be on CBS. But you are still trying to drive subscription to Paramount Plus, so this is kind of a way to to say, hey, we'll give you a little teaser of it, but you still gotta sign up to see the rest of it. I can't imagine, like, the White House card. I can't imagine that they'll do it that way. I think the White House card, they'll put the whole thing on CBS. I could be wrong. Again, they're still trying. They're trying to drive subscriptions. I
hope Mick and those guys make that happen without Dana's help.
I love the people that are just like Dana's just like senile walking around the office like, no, he has no input, like
he can't even work his phone.
Guys, now the fact that he can't work his phone, I mean, he's a 57-year-old man at the end of the day. Like, come on, man. That I can tell you is true. You and I have witnessed it firsthand.
Was it flip phone? He was old school flip phone at the like forever.
He even said on Evidence, he's like, they made me go to one of these because you can't have a flip phone when they're tracking. And he's like, and as soon as this shit's over, I'm going back to a flip phone. He's a flip phone dude. He used to remember the stories.
It was synonymous with him. I just always remember just flipping it out. Flip.
They would buy like any old flip phones that any flip phones because they don't manufacture them anymore. You know what I mean? So they would have.
He's on eBay ordering.
Literally, he had employees that would just order like any collection of phones that they could find, so that if one went bad, they had another one to go with.
They're like, hey, old Fight Promotions, we'll take your old VHS tapes and your flip phones if you have any of those.
But it's so funny the number of people that are like Dana just sits in the war room and just hands crossed at his knees and just listening to Dana. They're listening to Hunter and Sean and Mick do everything.
His one-tone green screen on his flip phone. Texting, wait, JKL. MNO. Gotta get through all the. I gotta get through.
Yeah, did he do the predictive text, or did he do the where you had to hit it 3 times or whatever? Yeah. We'll have to find out when he goes back to the flip phone. That'll be our breaking news. When he goes back to the flip phone when all the litigation is done, we'll be like, Dana, let's see how the text technique works and see if you're still a three press guy or.
Yep, he's a 3-presser.
So anyway, that'll be on CBS. I think that's good. Anytime you can get the UFC on network television,
UFC on CBS 1.
I think that's good. And then also, I'm anxious to see. So it's funny because I feel like everybody does this, but I don't know if you saw this as part of the announcement too. That February 20th, there's going to be a documentary called "This Is the UFC." Tracing the UFC's rise from underground spectacle to global powerhouse, airing Friday, February 20th on the CBS television network and Paramount Plus. It says, this is the official announcement. Through conversations with UFC President and CEO Dana White, iconic fighters, and rising stars, This Is UFC follows the organization's evolution from a raw fringe experiment into a dominant force in sports and entertainment. Hosted by UFC reporter Megan O'Leary and Survivor 45 winner and Survivor 50 castaway D. Valadares, the special captures the energy, history, and future of the sport while spotlighting the success of the UFC's debut on Paramount. So,
they just want to get the Survivor guy a gig or something. They're like, what the fuck is he? What's his whole point?
I think, and I'll be honest. I don't know who that is, and I watch Survivor. I watch Survivor, but I don't remember. Usually, I'm a few cocktails deep when it's on. But
it's just kind of funny. That's definitely
they're forcing the crossover. They got to force the crossover. But I will say this. Now, granted,
that's funny.
I have done nothing but live inside of the sport for the last 20 plus years. So this is not a story. I would be shocked.
You're not going to learn anything.
I would be shocked if there comes a detail that I'm like, didn't know that. But you never know. You never know.
We're gonna have some more boat footage of Dana on vacation, watching with his family, like talking. Even though at the time when that came out, I was like, that's a cool little view that we don't normally ever get to see. But now we've seen it.
Now we've seen it.
You gotta have something else.
I'm not expecting to learn anything, but I am excited to see what I didn't read in this, and is if this is something that Paramount and CBS produced. I mean, obviously, the UFC is never going to completely have their hands off of something. Like, I'm sure they had fun. But I would just like some fresh presentation and take, because like now you're talking to a TV movie company, not a sports company. You know what I mean? And so I would be interested to see how they present it and see, because like the promos that they ran on the start of the first show in Vegas, like I thought the promo was like really good. You know what I mean? And fun stuff. So I don't know. I'm at least anxious to see if there's some cool new look to it.
Yeah.
Because I like the way Paramount has been presenting it. Like I didn't really think about it at the time. I think we talked about it last time, but it's starting to click with me that like ESPN presented it as a sport, and that's great. Like we've always wanted the legitimacy. part of the reason we like fighting in the UFC is all the stories and the characters and all that. And so this is a movie TV company. I think they're looking at it more as the story side
of the UFC.
Yeah.
And I mean, like you said, we have been in the bubble, so we're privy to a lot of this stuff. We've seen it. But there's a whole new bunch of people that don't know that story.
Yeah.
They're not. Most of the people that probably watch the Paramount shows and the series, they see what's presented on the screen and then they remember it from that point. They're not going back to learn the show's genesis.
Yeah.
Like I see this as NCIS New Orleans. Does that mean I have to go back and watch the other NCIS? No, like they want to see what's going on right there. So I think now they're saying, okay, now we have a whole new crop of people that have no idea what it took for the UFC to become this thing. Let's educate them, and then let's put our spin on it, And maybe we'll hear new stories so that there's something for us that have seen this story before, something new for us, but also an introductory class for all the millions of people that don't know what's going on,
right.
And then if they sprinkle in some names of people that, Survivor cast, and next thing you know, Stallone's going to be on a version or whatever. I mean, like, it should be good. But, yeah, I'm hoping there's something for us. But I can definitely see why they would say, okay, we can't trust that the audience is aware of the story and the history. So let's tick the box. Let's present the history of the UFC, how it got to be here to them. Put our sort of twist on it, our presentation, and go for it. Because, yeah, like you said, ESPN was definitely like it's a sport. They would treat it. They treated the events like they treated the other events, and they would do some other stuff. But now they have a chance to tell the story of something.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like ESPN, decided let's go back and create a documentary on the start of the NFL before this NFL partnership or whatever.
Right.
So it should be interesting to see. But yeah, I hope there's something for us as well.
February 20th is the debut of that, and then UFC 326 will have some bouts on CBS. Of course, if you have Paramount, you could just watch the whole thing on Paramount.
That's good because I hate having to keep switching.
It's the worst.
And that's why I was glad, at least with like the ESPN, when you'd start watching the prelims, usually it would just transition over. You didn't have to switch out of it and go into another one. Like, certainly don't make me change platforms.
Oh, no.
Like that would annoy the piss out of me.
First world problems was super, super annoying.
It's super annoying though. Like, because I'll stop paying attention to something. That happened to me the other day. I was watching a show, and I was, like, listening off the side. I was like, man, this fucking theme music is getting annoying. I looked at the screen. It's like, your event has ended. I was like, oh, that's why. I was supposed to go to another one or whatever.
That's funny. I did see a lot of people last week. Like, obviously, I was at the Apex. Normally, I'll go home and watch it back, too. But I had just flown in, and I was exhausted, and I just crashed out.
Yeah, you didn't even make it to the end, did you?
No. I did.
You had a smash burger, and then you pieced out.
I did watch the end. I watched the last couple fights from home, and I think by then they had it worked out because I didn't sense any real issues. But I did see a lot of people like during the prelims were saying they had some real like audio issues and stuff. I don't know if you saw that at all.
No. I don't think I heard anything.
So a lot of people were saying that like the audio mix was weird. It seemed like the cage was mic'd too hot and you could barely hear the commentators. This was early on. I saw this on the prelims. Again, by the time I got home and watched like the last few fights at home, it was worked out. But I thought that was
something. I remember that first week. I thought people were experiencing buffer issues, and I think they got that sorted by the second one.
Some buffer issues.
That's why I hadn't heard about the.
I know there were some
audio.
people talking about the delay, but I actually saw something the other day. So I think because I timed the delay on Zuffa Boxing when I was first there, just seeing. I think it was like 38 seconds between. I was watching it on the app on my phone versus live in the building. It was like 38 seconds. But I saw.
So was that you? Because that was you that asked about the gambling, right? Or was that somebody else?
Somebody else asked about it. Somebody else asked about it. But I saw some people talking about it, and I was like, and it was funny because I had timed it just to see, just because I was curious about it. I didn't even think about the gambling aspect of it, but obviously that's a big deal. But it was like 38 seconds. But I saw a graphic come up on something else the other day that was talking about all the different channels and that sort of thing. And 38 seconds is actually pretty standard. Like I guess there's extremely no lag. It's like 7. Like over air is actually faster than anything.
Yeah.
But streaming, there's just inherently always going to be some kind of lag in it. But they were saying like I think Super Bowl, like some of the Super Bowl broadcasts were like a minute 20 or something like that.
If you don't want the streaming to buffer, you kind of have to build in that latency. The closer that it is to absolute real time, the more possibility that there will be some buffering. So part of that latency is to build in that little buffer. So you're always going to have a little bit of something. Even when you set up like the YouTube stream, it usually gives you a couple options. You can say the ultra
low latency,
ultra low, normal, or whatever. So it's building in a little bit of buffer so that if your transmission sort of gets a little wonky, that it still pulls it together so that when it's pushing it out, they don't experience that wonkiness. So they're always going to be something, but they try to mitigate that as best they can.
It's funny, like
but it is a thing.
So you talk about the live betting and stuff like that. Like I've not that I don't want to say that I've thought about it because that would sound like I'm plotting or scheming, but I'm like, if we're in there and we see earlier, like, couldn't you just place a live bet like before they grade it? You know what I mean? Because we're actually in the building. But I'm sure they would flag your account so incredibly fast.
Yeah.
If you're like, why is this person always putting in a bet? You know what I mean? Or like I bet if you did it,
always that in play like right before.
I don't even have
lock that. Yeah, because I would think that they would just remove in play as an option. Because a lot of times though, you can't even hop in. Once they've started the walk, it's usually already like closed out. And I know some of the apps that I mess with don't even have like an option. I think it's those ones that try to get that last little bit of money. They're like, oh, let's squeeze a little bit more.
Yeah.
Let's put that in play. Those are the only ones that really have to worry about it because then everybody else has already put their bet on.
Yep.
But I guess if you want to try to get more money, you give them the option. But
be interesting.
Even then, yeah.
I'm sure they'd flag your account.
There's got to be something. There's got to be something. Yeah, if you all of a sudden throw a massive, like, every bit of dollars you have in there you're throwing, you're like, we're going to flag that transaction.
I don't even have an online account anywhere, so I couldn't even test it out. But I just always wondered, like, how fast they would be like, no.
Yeah.
Something clearly shady going on, so. Anyway, all right, listen, as we said, no UFC this weekend.
And your location's geo-tracked usually, too, on a lot of those apps, too.
Oh, yes. They'd be
so I'm sure they could probably check something, too, because, like, if they notice, like, oh, hey, he's within geographically 1 mile of this venue, like, yeah, no, sir.
He's within 20 feet.
20 feet.
That'd be bad.
I wonder if he's there.
That's funny. All right, listen, UFC BJJ is on the BJJ YouTube channel. I'm sure by the time most of you listen to this, that'll already be in the books, but I'm anxious to go check it out. I really do like what they're doing with BJJ. We do have Taylor Haishaw that came through the CFFC BJJ system that's on the card, so I will be not openly cheering, but inwardly cheering. I'm still credentialed media member. So
it's okay to homer.
I'm always going to homer for CFFC. I just have to do it, kind of just a little subtle fist bump, not like jumping up out of my seat.
Hey, if the Brazilian media can just openly cheer, you can do whatever the F you want. Like, I think that at this point. But, yes, it is good to try to at least maintain a sense of I'm not cheering for everybody.
A sense of dignity there.
But, hey, so speaking, just like you did a great job of putting that onto the Roadshow YouTube.
Yes.
So we will get the interviews with the winners tonight.
That's
and
right.
we will put those on the MMA Roadshow YouTube page.
Why not?
Why not?
Start doing. We're here already. Start doing some stuff on the side.
Can't just come and eat concessions and not do anything. Well, yeah, you can. Never mind.
I enjoy the shows. I really do.
I enjoy the concessions.
I like I like. Did you see that? Because I think it was new. Because I didn't notice it the first Zuffa Boxing Weeks that they have Acai Republic there now.
Yeah, but it's not free anymore. You got to go through and pay through the thing or whatever. Because it used to be free.
Oh, it might be tonight for BJJ though.
I don't know.
We'll find out. But Acai Republic isn't that Alex Perez? Isn't that Alex Perez's company? I think so. I could be wrong, but I swear that's his company.
I just assumed it was one that was always there during the.
You know what? And I never even noticed that was Acai Republic anyway. Because they used to always come in and do acai during
but maybe it's not. Maybe it's separate. But I don't know why they would not use that company if they were so good about doing it before. I just assumed, but maybe not.
We shall go find out if there's free acai. I thought that was like the free acai. It was just kind of the BJJ vibe. And
well, you never know. Maybe they'll keep it separate from the concession if they're not part of that one. But I know at the Zuffa Boxing, it was on the menu,
right,
and you had to pay for it or whatever. So maybe if it's not the case.
Concession review. Have we given strong concession? The Smash Burger?
Smash Burger is good. And I feel like it's what you would expect to pay for a Smash Burger at a venue.
Yeah, it's like $14, I think.
Something like 12 or 14.
12, I think.
Maybe 12. Yep.
slice of pizza for like $14.
Yeah. No, actually, it is 14. I think it's 14 because the hot dog was like 11, and I was able to get the smash burger and the hot dog for 25 because they don't put the tax on it.
I did bring home a Philly cheesesteak to my kid, but I didn't see it because it was wrapped, and I left it wrapped.
Did I not tell you about the Philly cheese?
Well, I think I had already taken one home before you told me. But so my kid is on a Philly cheesesteak kick right now.
Okay.
By the way, I kind of want to. What do they call it? Where you don't
Intervention?
No. The
it's not to that point.
not to that point yet. No. Okay. Not gatekeep? Is that what they call it? Where you like don't give people? It's not like it's a new. Anyway, Pops. Have you ever had Pops cheesesteak? I'd never had it before, but my kid, because it's kind of far away from where I live. You used to live a lot closer to it. So it's kind of far away from where I live.
Just
but my
past
kid,
Charleston and Decatur, right?
Yeah, but my kid's on a Philly cheesesteak trip, and I was like, I was like, you know what, man? I was like, I want to go get that place a shot. I've always wanted to try it. My wife's not really into Philly cheesesteaks. My kid, since he was on this kick, I was like, let's go try it. That place is legit.
Yeah. And I think they do both versions. If you want to get like the cheese sauce,
right,
or if you want to get like the provolone, like the non-whatever version, they'll do
either one.
They'll do the versions,
bro,
which like in Philly is like,
you can't
either one or the other, or you're fighting.
Oh yeah,
they're like whatever.
it's in Philly a lot of Cooper Sharp. I think is what a lot of is what Brad Bolton tells me to get. You got to get the
awesome.
Cooper Sharp. But anyway, that place is good.
Yeah,
but anyway,
Pops is legit.
So I saw it on the menu, and I was like, I wasn't gonna eat anything, so I was like, I'll just bring one home to him because we get it, and I brought it home to him. And when they handed it to me,
small, it looks like a hot dog.
Looks like a hot dog. When they handed it to me, it's all wrapped up, and I'm like,
Yep.
Did they hand me the right thing? But I was like, I'm leaving. I'm not gonna. So I just brought it home, and then my kid the next day, because I went home and went to sleep. This was actually a different one. I think he was gone. I don't know. I don't remember. One of the weeks. Anyway.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, how was the cheesesteak, by the way? He's like, I don't know if you can really call it a cheesesteak.
Yeah.
He was like, it was okay. So it wasn't a hit.
He was being polite. It was not. Everybody I've heard from did not like it.
Didn't like it.
It's pre-made, it's pre-packaged or whatever, and then they put it in the microwave and nuke it, so your bread gets all hard or whatever, and then you're trying to like. Anybody knows if you're trying to warm up the meat, you don't want to warm it up inside the bread.
Right.
Like you're just gonna fuck it up. Unless it's like a hot dog, then you go for seconds or whatever, just for a few seconds or whatever. I have not heard a good thing about the cheesesteak, so I was gonna tell anybody like, if you're trying to go skip the cheesesteaks, and it's not cheap too, and it's literally probably the size or smaller than the hot dogs. The hot dogs and like it's so funny. All right, so the hot dog they call it a Wagyu hot dog. So what? It's just fancy butts and lips and intestines, like. So
this is top grade asshole.
This is top grade asshole right here. It's probably about the size of it felt like it was like a quarter-pound hot dog. It's a decent sized hot dog, and it was a tasty hot dog. But honestly, I would be just as fine with like a cheap regular fucking pork, chicken, turkey, whatever mix hot dog, like every other hot dog. But the fact you put a Wagyu and then you charge $11 for one, I mean, it's okay. But yeah, out of the two, that's been like my go-to combo. It's just been the hot dog and the smash burger.
Nice.
I hear the fries are okay. The pizza, $14 for that slice of pizza.
That seems high.
It's kind of expensive because especially when you think. But if you think of like you can't use like your street value in New York, walking the strip,
right?
The street, and like what you pay if you walk into a place, you pay $5 for a slice, and it's as big as your head.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to get that here. But it was good pizza.
It was like
it's just 14's a bit much.
It was like 8 or 9.
Yeah,
I'd be good with that.
Even $10, I would be like, this is high price, but it's not bad.
Yeah.
8 or 9 would be like, oh, that's really good.
Good price.
It's a good price, but
the first week it was open. I went and I was like, hey, because I just get my meat and cheese only, right? Like, I was like, can I just get I'll take a smash burger, just like plain, just meat and cheese only? And they were like, yeah, absolutely, that's no problem. Hand me my burger. I'm like, thank you. Walked over the side, bit into it, pickles, mustard, all that stuff. So I was like, damn. I was like, all right. I was like, wrapped it back up. I walked back over there.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. I'm like, hey, I'm sorry. I was like, I wanted this like just plain, just meat and cheese only. And they were like, oh, my bad. Don't even worry about it. They're like,
yeah. Do it again.
They're like, we'll get you another one. They gave me another one.
Did you sit right there and open it up?
No. So I walked over to the side and I'm like, all right, cool. Unwrapped it. Just meat, no cheese. I was like, at that point, like I was like, well, I can't go back right there, bro. I was like, I can't. It can be like, can you just like slap a piece of cheese in here real quick or whatever? So anyway,
That's funny.
yeah,
That's funny.
that was my
It's a work in progress.
day opening experience at the Apex.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, like, I would certainly say no one's going to, except for me, going to the Apex for concessions.
Except for cold coffee.
Just because I was like, well, I'll go check out the concessions. But it's not worth going for the food. But it certainly adds to it feeling like a venue. But yes, is this first world problems? Are we complaining about silly stuff? But yeah, just we're telling you this. We're telling you about the stuff that nobody at the venue promoting the venue is going to tell you about it. They will tell you to try the cheesesteak. We will say, do not
try the cheesesteak.
You'll waste your money.
I will say, though, the environment, and again, it's exactly what we've been saying all along.
Yep.
Not just more people. What kind of people are you getting in there?
Yep.
Engaged people, not VIPs. Not, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. People that are going there. It was funny. I even saw some people on social media that were like, "Oh shit, maybe we shouldn't have let people in there," because there were some people that were yelling some dumb stuff, and you can hear it right away because they're right up on top of stuff. So that is going to be a reality. If somebody wants to yell at somebody, they're going to hear it because they're right there. But I will say, just that atmosphere of not necessarily only having more people, but having the right kind of people, I think it really changed the atmosphere. And as we know. Gosh, it's not even halfway done. Like in May, they want to add another 500 people or something on there. So,
and I mean, it's one thing coming from us, and then when I asked the fighters, I was like, "Could you tell the difference?" And to hear the fighters say, like, "Yeah, it felt good. It felt like it was more like a real venue or whatever." Is it ever going to feel like a T-Mobile? No, but it was pretty darn cool to hear it. You know, it was pretty cool. And I was wondering because when I tried to ask the guys back on the Slack channel, I was like, "Is this making it through the speakers? Like, is this transitioning right to you guys?" I was like, because it feels electric in here.
Yep.
I don't know if you can hear it through the mics that are covering the room, but they even said like, yeah, you could tell.
Cool.
And they were cutting to some shots of the people. You're never going to get those iconic, of 1,000 people in a small little space, doing their thing. But you will see the fans cheering, and it's really cool. But the audio, I thought it was electric in that room. I thought it felt so much better.
And I'm telling you, man, like from a view, it's the same thing we want to say. If you've ever been to a fight in the Apex, you like the Apex.
Yep.
Now you're just gonna like it even more. Like honestly, and now that it's not gonna cost you $1,000 to get in.
Yep.
Try to book a fight night. Come out to a fight night. I promise you'll enjoy it, man. It's a great view.
Not a bad seat in the whole house.
Really not.
Just don't do the cheesesteak.
Just don't do the cheesesteak.
I got a message from this guy. I was going to play this for you to see if this works.
So listen, everybody. We want everyone that comes to see Backstreet Boys in Vegas at Sphere to wear all white.
That's so weird.
Back to the millennium.
How did he find me?
Oh my goodness. So ridiculous. Tell me why
I should wear white. Tell me why.
I heard it's a good show. So
no, dude, the screen shit, the stuff that I've seen, like our friend Melissa Hendricks, I know her and some girls went there, and I saw some footage that they had. It's fantastic. Like visually, it looks amazing.
My wife has already seen it once, and when she came back, she was like, "That was really good. I'd
That's
see
cool.
it again." And like I said, I know there's
a little date night at the Backstreet Boys, but in a suite too. Shit,
you know how we do.
I'm like, babe, I'm gonna check out the next song. I'm gonna go get it. I'm gonna be back here by the bar. I'm gonna check out that next song.
It was funny because I think, like I said, I think the friend that bought the suite, it came. She had to order like a menu of like, hey, what do you want in there? Like, you have this much credit with your suite, you get this much food and dining credit or whatever. What do you want?
She's been like all bottles.
So she was like, so we got like 24 beers, 2 bottles. My wife like sent me the whole list. I was like, cool, but what's everybody else gonna have? You know what I mean? but it's only like a 90-minute show or something, right? So.
Oh, bro, you could set John Morgan free in a open bar for 90 minutes.
Bruh. Do some damage.
Bruh.
Do some damage.
And because there's a bathroom in the suites.
Oh, nice.
You don't even have to leave the room.
Look at that. I'm looking forward to it.
It's nice. You're gonna have a really good time. Like, I think any show is just different. But that's like anything. If you go to a sporting event and you're in a suite, bruh,
you're having fun.
You're gonna have some fun. But yeah, no, I'm a little jealous. I think it'd be fun. I think you should wear all white.
You suck.
You should really just jump into it.
Oh, man. All right, everybody enjoy your Valentine's Day. Hopefully everybody has a great weekend with your significant other. Enjoy some UFC BJJ. Enjoy some lingerie fighting championships.
Yes.
If you want to join myself and cold coffee on Valentine's Day night, some Zuffa boxing. I think I'm going to go to Zuffa boxing like prelims and just have my wife pick me up from the Apex and then go to the Sphere. I think I might still go to the prelims just to throw a little support.
I'll be there for some Smash Burger. Maybe.
I love it.
Maybe I'll be burned down the Smash Burger after tonight.
You're going to be done with it. All right, everybody. Enjoy your weekend. We'll talk to you next week. Thanks for listening.